Edinburgh in the 18th century was a city split by height, class, and ambition. Stone towers pressed tightly together, while new ideals of order and reason were drawn on clean paper just beyond them. This is not a frozen postcard city. It is loud, crowded, experimental, and in transition. As we stroll through Edinburgh between 1700 and 1800, each image is a fragment of a city reshaping itself, from medieval survival to Enlightenment modernity. Edinburgh Castle was not merely a fortress, it was the city's anchor. Rising sharply from volcanic rock, it shaped every map, skyline, and traveler's memory. In the 1700s, the castle symbolized military power and royal authority, looming over a city that had little room left to expand. Artists exaggerated its height to emphasize dominance, and maps used it as a fixed reference point. In reconstruction, the focus should be on contrast: sheer rock faces, clustered buildings below, and the castle's visual command over the old town. The Royal Mile was Edinburgh's main artery, stretching from the castle to Holyrood Palace. In the 18th century, it was crowded vertically rather than horizontally. Tenement buildings rose 6 to 10 stories, housing merchants, craftsmen, and nobles under one roof. Paintings often show narrow streets filled with carts, animals, and pedestrians. For reconstruction, emphasize density and verticality, tight closes branching off, uneven stone paving, and constant human movement. This was a city built upward, not outward. Behind the Royal Mile lay a hidden network of closes and wynds, narrow passageways descending steeply toward Cowgate. These spaces rarely appear in grand panoramas, but are essential to understanding daily life. Poor lighting, damp stone, and overcrowding defined them. Period illustrations show shadowed figures and hanging laundry between buildings. In reconstruction, these spaces should feel compressed and intimate. They represent the social reality behind Enlightenment ideals: proximity, inequality, and survival within medieval urban limits. Before becoming Prince's Street Gardens, this area was the Nor Loch, a stagnant body of water used as both defense and dumping ground. Maps from the early 1700s clearly show it separating Old Town from open land to the north. Artists often depicted it as calm, but contemporary accounts describe foul smells and pollution. In reconstruction, the loch should appear functional rather than picturesque. It was a physical and symbolic barrier soon to be erased by urban ambition. The new town represents Edinburgh's Enlightenment moment. Designed with symmetry and reason, its grid layout contrasted sharply with the old town's organic chaos. Early images show wide streets, uniform facades, and open skies. This was aspirational urbanism, order as a social statement. In reconstruction, clarity matters: straight lines, consistent building heights, and emptier streets compared to the old town. The new town was not just expansion, it was a declaration of modern identity. Calton Hill offered perspective, literally and culturally. By the late 1700s, it became a site for monuments and panoramic views. Artists favored it as a vantage point, capturing Old Town, New Town, and the surrounding landscape in a single frame. Reconstruction should highlight openness and elevation. This is where Edinburgh begins to resemble a capital city rather than a medieval stronghold. Calton Hill marks the city learning to look at itself from a distance. Grassmarket was commerce, punishment, and spectacle combined. Located below the castle, it hosted markets and public executions well into the 1700s. Paintings show open space framed by irregular buildings, with Castle Rock looming above. Reconstruction should emphasize ground-level life, stalls, crowds, and the psychological weight of the castle overhead. This space reminds us that power and daily survival existed side by side, often within sight of each other. Leith was Edinburgh's gateway to the world. As a port, it connected the city to trade, ideas, and conflict. Period images show busy docks, masts, and cargo activity. Unlike the stone-heavy Old Town, Leith feels horizontal and open. Reconstruction should focus on movement, ships arriving, goods unloading, sailors and merchants interacting. Leith explains how a dense inland city sustained itself economically during the 18th century. By the end of the 1700s, Edinburgh was no longer a single city, but a dialogue between past and future. Each image we reconstruct is not just a view, but a decision the city once made.